if this is correct, then to have people really trying to establish a new temple in Jerusalem on the Temple Mount would be devastating to everyone. So I don't think it's a good idea. So I really hope that I never will be proven right in my theories. My vanity wants to be correct, but I have to put this aside, and I think that those guys back in the 1600s, when or if they created this new temple on this island, Oak Island in Nova Scotia, they have hidden it so well that it will not be found. The brothers who control the area now, they are excavating as we speak, and they have discovered man-made workings on the bottom of a swamp, which is my ultimate point X, which is somewhat worrying, I think, but at least there was no instant gratification there. So new challenges, new questions. So it doesn't seem that there will be a solution to this question anytime soon.
Are you still researching? Have you found other kind of messages in the book? And
no, it has been going in circles. So I have thought that, well, I will not advance this more now. I will just observe what is happening on the island. I have very little input there, so I just lean back and let other people work, and I can be disproven and falsified, to use the scientific language. In one way, I would be very happy to be falsified, but of course I would be emotionally hurt to be wrong. It's not fun to be wrong, but so far it is looking good for my vanity, but as I said, I really don't hope that there will be more to find than the manuscripts. If they find temple treasure there, then well, it's not a good thing. So therefore, I see this as a wasted time. I should spend my life in a better way. So what I do mostly now is to play music. I'm an organist by profession, and I also study other subjects that come my way. For instance, very narrow tranches of history, to be local history. Anything that really makes my juices flow, but my juices have dried up regarding this subject. But of course, I'm very interested to see what is happening there, and also interested in defending my theory, because it tends to be distorted. People claim that I have said this and that when I have not, and then I jump in to defend my honor, intellectual honor, because I think it's embarrassing to have people believe that I have said something this stupid. So this makes me go into attack mode. But if nothing is happening in that department, then my mind is on all other subjects than the Shakespeare things. It was a wonderful adventure. It kept me rising in the morning with expectations of great discoveries. I felt I had a conversation with people living in the 17th century. They were throwing me balls, and I kept throwing them back, and it was so stimulating. But after a while, it became repetitive, and then I think it's a wise thing to reconsider how I should spend my precious time on this planet.
That makes sense. Can you say kind of what is, are there people who want to excavate it? Then is that, are they there, is that still an issue there? Are they pushing to?
Very much so. Oh yes, there is a series on History Channel called The Curse of Oak Island, and I believe it's one of the most popular shows, and they throw tons of money into the research, great machines and big projects. So it must cost a lot to do this, but hopefully it pays off in selling the show, which is a wonderful solution that they can finance the excavation. But again, as I said, only up to a certain point, if there is something to my theory. Of course, I believe in my theory. I see no better solution, but even I know that it is a fantastic idea, a fantastic concept, that it's really hard to believe it wholeheartedly, even for me, the originator, if you can call it that. I think I'm the discoverer, but if it's just my imagination, I am then the originator, and even the originator has a hard time believing in this. But we'll see what happens. It's not for me to call the shots.
Right.
And I think that my input here is probably not that important, because this swamp that they are looking at is very it's an area that was begging to be explored based on old research, not my research.
Right.
So I don't think that my chipping on will change history here, but still.
Why do you think that they would have wanted that information to be hidden for so long and then found? Do you think that
for the objects, then there was no temple in Jerusalem, and they had to create a new place for it. And I argue in my books why the spot that was chosen is a good place for the new temple. I actually think that this is the third temple or the fourth temple. If you say that Herod's temple was the third, or it was Herod's temple the second, just elaborated, but the new temple is on this island, is what I really believe. And the temple in the original sense of the word templum, which is just geometry on the ground, is not a building, because the old Romans, they differentiated between the edificium, the edifice, which was the building, and the templum, which was just a pattern on the ground. So I think that this is a templum in the original sense of the word, but it has a lower region, which is where I believe the treasure chamber, to call it that, is to be found. But I think it's safekeeping. I don't think that there is a reason to hide it, that it was too powerful to be seen. I think it's responsibility. We have to create a new temple, and let's build it there. Regarding the manuscripts, I think that they were just coming along for the ride and to fulfill the Fama Fraternitatis, the first Rosicrucian manifesto, where you have this suggestion that you should seek out the burial place of the great father R.C., the originator of the order, and he was buried with his books So I think that the books that was with Father R.C. will be the Shakespearean manuscripts. And there were also other manuscripts in this vault, this burial vault of Father R.C., which, when found, would be able to re-establish the order. So it could be some kind of library somewhere with important scientific material in case of a total reset to make it actual, up to date. But it's pure speculation.
Okay.
I can speculate, but I'm not comfortable speculating because my guess is just as good as your guess. What I can do is I can point to things in the books and I can tell you what I see and how I interpret it, and then you can say, that makes sense, or no, it doesn't speak to me. That is more of my thing, to speculate based on why they had to do this. Well, I can't do this.
What I find particularly interesting and intriguing, and I'm sure you've thought about this quite a bit, is the whole idea that, it's like they intentionally leave these kind of breadcrumbs and such, for people to discover, and it's like they can kind of anticipate that it will actually happen in a certain, time frame. And
I don't think that we could just throw away the key. They had to make the crumbles detectable, and I also think that doing this they would ignite passion and interest, and also thirst for knowledge.
Sure.
Because you need to have a toolbox with certain elements available in order to make any sense of this. You need to be a balanced, rather well-educated person in order to make sense of this. And I think that Freemasonry was created to try to have a group of men throughout the ages who would be interested in looking at the arts and the sciences and try to become a Renaissance person who would be able to look at that book and see, but here we have this, which was what happened to me. I'm not saying that I am a true Renaissance person, but I have been dabbling in many different subjects. So I think that I could build connection between different subjects that made it possible for me to seek more information about what I lacked. And the age of the computer has been tremendously helpful in this way.
Okay. Well, it seems like we're kind of going a little bit over time right now. I know we kind of had some technical difficulties when we started out.
I need to get good before I go to bed and have some early morning playing.
The Israeli archaeologist and kind of if I'm not mistaken, he headed. His name is Shmarya. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his first name right. His last name is Gutman, and he was born in Scotland. He passed away in 1996, and he was he headed the intelligence unit of the Haganah, and so he was said to be kind of the founder of the Mossad. Interestingly, so kind of when you were talking about Scotland and how it all kind of may have been moved around, it reminded me of him. And other than that, where do you have have any of your music online? I'm gonna leave a link to to your book in the low bar also, so people can buy it.
That's
But do
very
you
kind
have
of you. Thank you so much. I have my YouTube channel with my organ music, so it's Petter Amundsen, organist. It's not very big. I think I have 110 subscribers, but
I'll leave a
I'm
link to
building
that
it
also.
ever so slowly.
I personally,
Thank you. But there are two books. I would recommend watching the films first. So you mentioned the timeline films, but we also have the original series, which is in Norwegian, but it is subtitled in English. So it is possible to understand what is going on. And I think it's in some ways it's a better production than the one on YouTube, the Cracking the Shakespeare Code. It's found on Vimeo. It's free of charge. It's called Sweet Swan of Avon. It's 4 episodes. So it came before the Cracking series, so it doesn't go as far, but it is better in explaining the ciphers, because the newer series is more the discussion going on between Robert Crumpton and myself, his reaction to being exposed to this material, etc. But the first one is more me describing what I have found, and in a much better detail, I think.
Okay,
So
I'll leave a link
I
to
can
that
give
as
you
well.
on, and they can maybe attach it. You can attack it too, but attach. But
Yeah,
my
anything you
mind
want me to link
is
to.
fading. It's late, so but I really enjoyed this conversation. We have been touching upon subjects that are not usually touched upon when I discuss this, which is stimulating.
Good.
I'm
That's what I was hoping
very
for.
interested in the Middle East, of course, what is happening there, and also with technocracy and will Klaus Schwab and his gang pull this reset off? I think not. I think that he will face a banking crisis that will make it impossible, that it will come before he has his reset.
Well, there's definitely enough people, I think, who are aware of it, at least, and have some sense that there's something wrong with it, to some extent, to where I hopefully something else will, better will come along.